Yo, what's good, people, and welcome back for the first time. My name is Marcus Octavian. I'm a producer, DJ, and creator based in Southwest England. And in today's video, I wanted to discuss organization and organizing your life. I'm really hopeful that this video will reach people in their late teens and early 20s, as this is information that I wish somebody had shared with me at that age. I feel like taking organization and life organization seriously at that stage in life can really set you up for success onwards. Growing up, I can say it was definitely not naturally inclined to me to be organized. It's something that I started to make conscious effort towards in my mid-20s. At the time, I began using notebooks to start doing things like organizing my day, budgeting, project planning, and journaling. This definitely gave me a good foundation on my organization journey. I spent a few years using notebooks to help me stay on top of things and have stuff organized, and it worked well. In late 2022, I discovered Notion, this extremely powerful digital organizational tool, and for me, it was a game changer. Notebooks are great, but they have their limits. You can't always have them on your person, being the biggest one. I watched a few tutorials about Notion and quickly realized that this is what I truly needed to elevate my organizational skills. With that being said, I'm going to run you through my Notion Life OS and hopefully it'll be able to help you get started on your journey. Okay guys, welcome to my Life OS. We're going to go through every category and I'll explain how to use each and every single individual area. I've broken it down to what I think for me constitutes my life areas, and so with that I'm able to put organization into each and every category. Now in some categories I am still working towards getting better at using this, but my advice is to use Notion morning, midday, and noon, so to kind of check in with your Notion on a regular basis, because at the end of the day it's all good and well putting it down, but if you're not actually gonna then return to check on it, you're gonna end up with the problem of the lists that never get completed or the tools that never get used. So for me, the way I found a good way to do it is to start the evening before by planning my day ahead. So the evening before, I'll put down the to-dos for the next day, and on a Sunday I'll use it to plan the week ahead. And then on top of that, there's all these other categories that you can use on a daily basis. All right, so if we get started by looking at the first category. Now, my category 1 is lifetime goals. So if we jump in there, you're going to see that I have listed down all of the goals that I feel like are not going to be ever satisfied one year to the next, but there'll always be sub goals within those that I can be working towards, and therefore be on a lifetime journey with these goals and know that I'm never essentially going to finish them, but there's stuff that's going to hold my interest for the rest of my life. So my first goal is language based. So I'm learning Italian at the moment. So I've put acquire the Italian language to eloquent native level. So that means I don't want to just be native level basic. I want to be native level really well spoken. Build and sculpt a strong physique. That doesn't really need explaining. To be financially independent. So for me, financially independent means earning an income for myself. That doesn't mean I have to be making necessarily millions, even though that'd be fucking nice. It just means to get to a stage where I'm creating streams of income for myself. Continue to develop in the art of self-mastery. So I'm really into self-development. It's something I pay attention to in terms of what I'm doing with my life. So yes, it's a really important one. Be a world-renowned music producer, DJ, and content creator, fulfilling and successful personal brand. So this year I'm taking the first steps towards being more active in promoting myself, my music, and just being more present online. It's something I've really struggled with. I had weirdly enough, not social anxiety, but social media anxiety. I like, for a very long time, I was scared to come on here and actually put my face on and speak and just put myself out there. But in the end, I just decided I'm conquering my social media anxiety and actually putting myself out there. Okay, on to the next one. So project manager, this is where I break down all of the projects that I'm working on. And within that, there's going to be subcategories so that you'll be able to then have it as smart goals, in that sense that you'll be able to see exactly what you're working on. And yeah, let's look at how to use that. Okay, so the way this page works is you're going to have your projects and then you're going to have project timelines. So to create the first project, you'll go over here and say new page, and then we'll say one of the projects I'm working on now is to complete a 16-week program. So we'll say complete 16-week prog. Okay. So once you've input that first goal, you're then going to come to this subgroup and then add a group. And then you'll see here that 16-week program has come up and is now available. So now from this point on, you're going to be able to add the sub areas of that goal. So complete 16-week program, we can put like W1. Okay. Oops. W1, and then we'll just controlled. Oops. Yes, this is not working out. Okay, so W1, and then over here we'll duplicate, and then which imagine this is W2, 3. And 4, and then just for example, so we'll say W1 due date is Sunday the 12th. Okay, and then the next one's going to be Sunday 19th, and the next one is Sunday 26th, and then after that we're into Feb. Okay, so if it's fitness or it's a gym 16-week program, I've already created the program, I'm following it. On Sunday, every day I'll come in, every day. I wish it was Sunday every day. On Sunday, I'll come in here and I will tick off that week's completed. And as you can see, there's been progress on the progress bar. Click week 2, more progress. Click week 3, even more. Week 4, 100%, even though we're saying 16-week. And then furthermore, if you want to jump into the actual page, then you can add more information. So for instance, in week 1, if you have, say, a spreadsheet that's got your data for your lifts, then you can come into this page and add that here, in which case then you're going to have your progress broken down into the weeks, and then you can have finer information within that page. Cool. And that's just the same for that. So let's say one more example. Let's say you're dieting down or you are dieting up, so bulking or cutting. Then you can say a weight gain or weight gain chart. So let's say cutting down. So BF target is 16%. Yep, 16%. And then we just come here, add a group again, body fat 16%, and now you've got a new project area. Let's say you're gonna do it 1% per month, so you could do 15 new, 14, 13. Sorry, I meant body fat 13%. Okay, so let's say you're going to do that over the period of 3 months, so 16-week diet. So you can do the first check-in as the 31st, and then do the next check-in as the 28th, and then the last check-in as oh yo yeah 28th, and then the next check-in is going to be March, the last day. Cool. And then within that, what you could use it for is maybe charting your body weight every week. So I weigh myself on a daily basis, so you can just come in here, create a table. Yep. And then, make the table how you want. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So we can say Monday, and then you can put your weight. That day I was 300 kilos. And then on Tuesday, I was like 500. This diet's not going very well. But just you see what I mean for an example. So this is how you can use this page for certain projects. I guess a lot of people are into fitness these days, so it'd be relevant for pretty much everyone. Okay, and then with another example, so my finances, I do have a tiny bit of consumer debt. So what I was using this for was to count down my payments. So for instance, I listed off all of the debts that I have, and then how much each one was getting paid off per month, and then the countdown. But it's really up to you what you then use the pages for. This is just a basic tutorial on what they can be used for. Okay, let's get back into that. The to-do list, straightforward. I've created pages for the years and the months. So if you want to do a new one, what we do is go into here, and then we'll hit the slash key to create a new page. Okay, and we're going to call this one 2025. Into to-do, and this is a to-do template. So what you want to do is you want to duplicate this one, and then with the duplicate, put it into the appropriate year, and then you can just change one more page. So I'd say the months, so slash one more page, and then we'll call that page January. Ooh. All right. Cool. So we got January, and then from here, duplicate this to have one to put into January, and then drop that in there. And then when you jump in there, we'll change that to the actual date. So once you go in here, you have the breakdown. So we're going to change this to the date, the actual date. Wait, my okay. So, and then you will rename it the month. Okay. And then on this section, you have the date. So we put the date for today. I usually do it like month, date, and then year. So I will do, let's just pretend it's January 1st, and then it's 2025. And the rest of it is very simple. It's like a tick list. So I used my to do for everything, including mundane things, which would be like, let's say it's projects or even just basic stuff like laundry. Okay. Shopping. And I do this in the night before so that I know what I need to do for the day after. And then with this bit, I tend to use that more for projects. So it doesn't matter what time I'm working on the projects, but it's where I put the important tasks for that day. And then when you are done with a page, you would just add a new one, or we could use the old one. So that we're gonna say that is to do Jan. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah. And then we could just copy that whole thing. And then pop it in there. And then when you go into that, it's got your list. And as you can see, it's also got the counter for how many of your tasks have been done. And the way that works is by changing this up here. So let's say you've hit 7 out of 7, you got 100%. You did 1 out of 7, not very good, 14%. But that is how this page works. And then the rest of the way to use that is by just carrying on to fill the new days. And then again, once you've got a new day and it's the next one, so we could go second, and it's the same thing again. Once you finish with that day, just copy it across down like that and then put it into there, and you can add a new day. And then if you want to change what comes up on your new day, just hit that gear or whatever that thing is, and then you can change it here. And then every time you hit new day, it's gonna be exactly what you have put into the settings. And then just rinse and repeat for the rest of the months of the year. So every time you got a new month, just create a new page and then slot that down in there. Cool. On to the next page, which is the content planner. Now, again, this is a new page for me because I've just started with the content creation side of things, but super basic. I've broken it down into YouTube and TikTok projects, so it's just those two. But if you want to do another one like Instagram Reels or whatever, you can just duplicate. You could just duplicate. So inside the page, you can, on the date that you want to add, you can add the project. So Notion template video. That's the one I'm working on now. And then for the platform, I'm going to say YouTube. And then live date is going to be Friday the 10th. Okay. So you've got a template there on that page. So I just hit new YouTube template. And then this is the planning stage. So before you start any videos, again, this one's speaking to anyone who's trying to get organized with their content creation. You can put the goal of the video. And so in this one, teach how oops straightforward. Title idea. Thumbnail idea, and then research and notes. That's like if you need to script and b-roll. Again, really self-explanatory what you need to do with these topics here, but it just gets you into a more organized workflow. Cool. And then as you can see here, it's appeared here, and it's an idea. And then over here you have the tabs for how far along in the process it is. If you're just in idea stage, then idea to film, that's something you've decided that you're actually gonna carry out. Filmed, done. Edited, done. Uploaded, done. So that's just how you can keep track of your projects. Okay. Next page. Excuse me. Ideas. This is where I just throw random ideas. So, yeah, super basic, depending on how in-depth you want to go with your ideas. But, you know, for instance, in the past, on my personal one, I've just had like, you know, tattoos that I'm going to do. And I'll just be like, from books. And then I'll list the books that I've seen or have characters who have tattoos that I like, that I would like to get myself. And then just list it down here. Kaladin. Sash. That's for everyone who likes Stormlight Archive. Yeah, super basic page, but you get the idea. And then knowledge vault. So this is where I put down all of the knowledge that I'm gathering for myself in the different topics that I'm studying. So you have the main topic, then you got subtopics, and then even subtopics. That's how I arrange it. So in my personal one, you can have a quick look at that example. I've got music production university, and then I've got this broken down into the different parts of music production that I'm trying to study. So drums and beats, and then we'll jump in there. And then you've got the sub categories. So like in this case, it's tones and transients and tuning. Jump in there. I've got like a bunch of videos that I've saved about these categories. And then you could just keep adding to them as you go along. And to link a video in YouTube, all you have to do is hit /. Scroll down to video embedded, and then copy the link that you want. So that way you have an easy library that you're creating for the knowledge that you're gathering. Okay, and then the next page is the dream log. This is literally just a diary. So a diary for your dreams, really simple. On the template, let's have a look, see here, dream log. Just new page, bam. What did you dream about? I put the date on this one on the top part, and then just empty, and then just write down what you dreamt about. And then the tags you can change. You can change your tags really easily by typing in a tag and then bam, create. Or you can delete the tags by going over here and delete, and then you can color code the tags. So I've got the tags according to the dreams that I have. I don't always manage to do this one, but again, this year I have goals to make more use of the dream log, because I think that's quite a useful thing to do. But if you want to laugh at one of my dreams from before, yeah, all right. On to the next page. Okay, budget tracker. Jeez, I should actually not have had that open like that. Let's get rid of that. Delete. Delete. Okay, so the way the budget tracker works is you got the new month button up here. If you just hit new month, you get everything filled out. Now, like with the previous page, if you want to change what your new month creates, just hit the edit button, okay? And then in this area here, you can change what comes out automatically. Now, for me, this page is probably one of the most important, and I think I would encourage everybody to use this, especially if you know you're not on that budgeting lifestyle. Get started now, and this is how to make it a lot easier. In this page, I put all my recurring bills, the bills that I know every single month I'm going to be paying, and they're going to be a fixed cost. That's what I put into this spot. So I have me rent, groceries, house bills, gym memberships. I got my phone bill, and just like I said, everything that's a recurring direct debit I put onto this page because I know it's gonna be there, and it just kind of lets me know what my fixed living costs are every single month, and then I hit that. When you hit the new month button, it creates another side tab where you can put your income. So let's just say I earned like 2,300 that month. Yep. And then side hustles, you can just keep adding income streams. So if you've got multiple side hustles, you can put like, your first one, which is number 1, 2, 3. Add another side hustle, and then you can add the income from that one. So that was like 450, and let's say 900. That was a really good month. And then you've got your total income. So over here, this has already summed up your expenses. And then if you say I would say the way I use it exactly is to have my fixed costs here, and then you can add this into there where it's your expenses. So total for this is all my expenses, 1,800, 1,189.98. And then over here you add your income, 3,650, and automatically you get your leftovers over here. So this is your expenses, your leftovers here. And then what I would do is like my spending money for the month. Let's say you've put away something for savings, and then all you have left is your spending money for the month, like just the stuff you're going to spend on for fun. So let's say you've put away 2,000 in your savings, and then you've got 460 left for what you're just going to play around with. So I'd put 460 into the post bills expenses. And then every time see, that was supposed to be in here. 460. New page. Apologies, I'm messing up. Post bills expenses is just every time you spend on anything that is outside of your bills and part of your budget for just having fun that month or whatever, then you'd put it here into this list. So let's just say restaurant. Now this is just to if you really want to be extra with keeping an eye on your expenses. You can say that was like 50. And then over here you'd put the total expenditure you were willing to have for your budget for just extras. And then as the list is going on, whatever is getting summed here is what's going on expenses. And then next one's like cinema, and you spent like 35. Okay, so it's essentially this list here and this summation here, but this is for your like extra money. And then so far the total is 85, and this is going to be live. basically every single day at the end of the day, once I've done all my spending, I come check how accurate this is, because then I can have an idea of where I'm at with my spending money. This is not the most important section. But if you want to be on top of your finances, then you want to be on top of all of it and not just some of it. And I highly recommend being that way. Okay. And then once you are finished with a month, right? Once you are finished with a month, what I do is, so let's say this is January. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. On this, there's a status. So like every time you've paid something towards your direct debits, then you get to just let yourself know that that's paid off. Maybe that's not come out yet, paid off, and so on and so forth until you know everything's paid off. Bam. I'm going to do another video about how to manage your personal finances. Again, I really hope this one is seen by people in the early 20s and late teens, because that one is something I wish I had known sooner. It's such a game changer when it comes to managing your finances when you're out of the family home, or even if you're earning an income and you're still living at home. Learning how to manage your personal finances is just a prerequisite for being successful in life. So again, I'm going to make a video about that one. I do apologize if this one's been a little bit rambly. As I said, I'm still kind of new. I was thinking about doing it via script, but hey-ho, it is what it is. All right, on to the next thing. Yes, have I showed? Yeah. Okay, so once it's done, let's say this is January again. You select each individual portion. So this one's a little bit cumbersome. I haven't found a way to do this any quicker. And then you want to drop it on a template page. So let's just rename that template January. Okay. And the order I do it in is the month, followed by that summation one, and then this one, her, and then income, okay, and then okay, once everything's in there, you can then take this page and put it into the year. And then when you click on the year, you've got January there. And when you drop it down, you've got everything sorted out so that you can review it at another time. And then if you go back to budget tracker, after you've used one, I usually duplicate that so that the next month you're going to have that ready to go. And then you can just change that to Feb. Okay, and then you can hit new month and it's going to create the next month, and you can call that Feb. And then just start the process again. Paid off or nah, and then income, and you know what to do from that point on. Okay, next one, again, basic shopping list. So I have the stores that I visit, and it's usually Aldi, Tesco, or Morrison's. This is where I do all of my shopping. And I do get particular things from particular shops. I can't do all of my shopping at one place. Obviously, Aldi's got cheap goods for certain varieties, but I can't deal with some of the own brand stuff. Tesco, same thing. Grab a few. Damn, I can't speak. Tesco, grab a few things, and then Morrison's, grab a few things, and you know, it's a to-do list. Just duplicate however many spots you need. And then just add your list in. stuff with 3 Fs. Stuff. And then as you're going shopping, tick it off, and when you're all done, just delete that away. And if you've accidentally deleted too many, you can always go back to to-do list and bam, start again. So yeah, that's how I stay on top of my shopping. This should actually be over quotes. Recipes. So I do a lot of meal prepping. In fact, most of the times I'm meal prepping for the week. I don't just like cook every single day. I don't find that's efficient. It's Lord Jesus, help me speak. I don't find that that's an efficient use of my time. Jesus. All right, cool. So straightforward. Anytime you want to make a new meal, just hit slash. Oop. Delete. So new page, and then you can jump into your page, new recipe, and then wait for it to load up. Okay, we'll use an example that's already done. So when it finally decides it's going to do a new recipe, it comes up with the ingredients, instructions, and I've added macros because I actually, track my macros. Okay. See, there we go. So ingredients, instructions. For the instructions, I use the embedded feature as I showed you before. Just hit slash and then go down to link a video, and then I put the link to the YouTube video that I've used for the recipe. And the list is just the list of things that you need to get for that recipe, and then you can use that to transfer onto your shopping list. Again, super straightforward. Not much needs to be said about that one. Okay, quotes. This one's just basic pages. Every time you want to add some quotes, this one is from Trainer Page. But every time I want to add a new one, just bam, slash, quote, and then just add your quote. Straightforward. Again, this one's for everyone that loves Stormlight Archive. As you can tell, I'm a fan. A journal. This one is, again, really straightforward. I create a new page, and then I will call that page the date. And then you just go in there and just type whatever you want. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Monthly reflection. Yep. Monthly reflection. One word to describe the month. Memorable moments. What I learned. Again, all self-explanatory. And then when you finished with that month, you can just highlight everything and drag it into the archive. And then you've got a list of all of the months. And then if you want to do like subgroups, again, you can break it down by the years. Cool. So that is essentially everything in my Life OS. I hope you found that helpful, even though I was very rambly. I am still learning how to present myself on video, so that's something we're going to be journeying with together. And yeah, just appreciate your time if you've checked in, and link will be in the description for the Life OS. And I hope that it's helpful to you on your organization journey. I know it's been a game changer for me. And in 2025, I definitely want to be on top of things and improving in every area that I can. And I'm just wishing everybody a successful 2025. And yeah, stick around. I'm going to be on here a lot more often. Thank you very much for your attention. And it'd be really helpful if you could take 3 sips of a Fanta for the algorithm. It's always really appreciated. Thank you. Bye.